Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video. Getting to some single type cup Go Battle League battles. In today's video, we have a submission from a fellow PvPer of the community by the name of Snots, and he's put together quite the exciting team to use in some single type cup battles for some success. That being Cofagrigus, recently buffed Fairy Wind, Clefable, and Vigoroth, which I'm going to assume would be the Pokemon on the save swap for this team comp. We're going to figure that out as we get into some battles. If you do not know, the Single Type Cup is running for the next 2 weeks in the Go Battle League alongside Ultra League right now and then Masters next week. And what the basic meta of this cup is going to be is you're running Pokemon that only have a mono typing. So Cofagrigus, ghost typing, Clefable, fairy typing, Vigoroth, normal typing. And our goal here is to get you the best possible teams that we can so that you can find some early success within this meta. So shout out to Snots for the submission. Let's get into these battles. Let's see how he plays it out. Let's see how he uses a team, and let's see the type of success he's able to have with it. As you can see, his elo is over there, so he's making a vet push relatively early on in the season, meaning that he's definitely having quite the success with this team comp. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into the battles. As we just saw on screen, Clefable took out another fellow Clefable user with a Meteor Mash, and this game is all but over. They come in with a Haxorus, and Clefable is going to be able to spam and one-shot the Haxorus with a Moonblast. They top lefted or swiped out. The game is lagging. Bang! Haxorus down. Getting to the next matchup, we got a Cofagrigus lead against another Cofagrigus. We got the mirror. Let's see how Snots decides he wants to play this one out. Typically, in this mirror, you want to go straight Dark Pulse. Another Clefable user. That's crazy, considering when I ended up doing my battles, I had barely seen any Clefables, if not maybe one or two. Now we've seen two in back-to-back battles. He's staying in this matchup, and the Clefable lands a Meteor Mash against his Cofagrigus. He's going to build up to two Dark Pulses, probably going to throw one now, and then save the other for later against the Cofagrigus in the back. Nope, I decided against it. Clefable's going to get off another Meteor Mash here. He does have a shield advantage. He's going to go for a Fairy Wind farm down. That's going to be huge. He has shield advantage, and he has Clefable with a decent amount of energy. Do they come in with their own Cofagrigus, or do they come in with something else? They come back in with their Cofagrigus. They're throwing the energy they had earlier. That's the reason why the opponent swapped out. They had Psychic instead of Dark Pulse, so Snots would have been in a positive advantage with that mirror matchup because he had Dark Pulse. His opponent clearly did not. He lands a Moonblast that does not completely take out the Cofagrigus remaining health. It has 1 HP. They're running double Fairy. They have a Gramble, Shadow Gramble with Charm. Was that Charm in the back? That is Charm. And Snots is going to be able to pull out this match. He's going to throw on proper move timing. He's a 2-turn move going up against a 3-turn move of Charm with his Vigoroth running counter. He wants to throw in either 1 fast move, 4 fast moves, or 7. He landed a Body Slam, counters down, and that is GG's for that match. Getting to the next matchup, we have a Cofagrigus against a Haxorus lead. Cofagrigus likes this lead because Haxorus is squishy. Even though Haxorus does have access to the super effective move of Night Slash, they decide to go for the Community Day move of Breaking Swipe, which would be stab for the Haxorus and also has the potential to debuff, or no, guaranteed, not just the potential. He decides to throw a Shadow Ball there, which I'm surprised because I feel like Dark Pulse would have been enough, but maybe he wanted to just make sure the hacks went down in case they decided not to shield, but the opponent decided to, so now he ends up in the 1 shield scenario, is able to win it. They come in with a Lickitung, and he is sitting in a positive spot because his backline will do well against this Lickitung with the Vigoroth running counter. The opponent is going to go for a Lick farm down. Unfortunately, Cofagrigus just falls short of the Dark Pulse, but he's able to come in with his Vigoroth. They then auto swap into their Mew. Snots matches with his Clefable, and now we get to see how this matchup plays out now that Clefable, you know, newly buffed, spammy with Fairy Wind. He's going for the Moonblast, not going to go for the potential double Meteor Mash. Is going to end up using his last shield on the Surf coming through from the Mew, throwing the Moonblast. Will the opponent's shield, will this land? It lands. It does a huge chunk of damage to the Mew. Was going to go for the Fairy Wind down. The opponent decides to top left because that match was over once they let that Moonblast land. They were probably expecting it to be a Meteor Mash, and the Vigoroth would have slaughtered the Lickitung in the back regardless of the shield scenario. So getting into this next matchup, Snots is in not a great situation. He has his Clefable lined up with a Shadow Muck. This is one of the worst case scenario matchups for his Clefable to be in. He ends up letting it go down after essentially not winning lead and not winning switch. I don't know, it happened so fast. I would assume he didn't win lead if he ended up in such a bad swap scenario. The Muck is able to throw a Dark Pulse. He has to use one of his shields. He ends up, oh, it's the Lickitung. Yeah, so it was a bad lead and a bad swap. Will Snots be able to play out of this? Throws a Dark Pulse, pivots into his Vigoroth, and that's matched by a Clefable. Not sitting in a great scenario here, just based on the pure fact that his Vigoroth has one shield and the Clefable has two. All the Clefable needs to do is land a Moonblast. He's going for his shield here. The opponent throws the Moonblast. He is able to shield it. The question now becomes, will he be able to get off, what, 3 body slams before the Clefable is able to get off 2 moves? Essentially, 1 Meteor Mash and 1 Moonblast should be enough. I don't think a Moonblast is going to take out the Vigoroth's remaining health. It does not, but it does quite a bit. Definitely doesn't need a Meteor Mash at this point. All the Clefable needs to do here is try and Fairy Wind down, and this match is unfortunately over. He lost lead, he lost swap, he lost the last Mon. That was GG's. No team is going to be able to play out of that circumstance. Getting into the next matchup, we have another Cofagrigus mirror. The opponent is throwing their charge move around the same time Snots got to his Dark Pulse, so he is going to shield up. He's going to go for a Dark Pulse of his own. Will the opponent match shields, or will they let their Cofagrigus go down? They match shields, so how is this mirror going to end? They swap and catch the Dark charge move of Dark Pulse on their Clefable. It seems like Snots is running into like a bunch of mirror teams or mirror cores. Apparently everybody got the memo with this cup literally like just dropping for the past day or two that you should run Cofagrigus with Clefable because literally everybody's running it. Either way, did the opponent just throw a Moonblast there instead of a Meteor Mash? You definitely want to go Meteor Mash in this mirror because it's going to hit for bang, huge, super effective damage. The opponent comes back in with their Cofagrigus. He's going for another Meteor Mash here, gets the opponent's last shield. They're going to be throwing what should be a Shadow Ball because Dark Pulse would be resisted. Clefable holds on. Will Snots be able to outpace to a Meteor Mash before going down or taking another charge move? The Clefable is able to. Clefable is able. Meteor Mash, bang. Opponent's last Mon is a Berserker. This is not the most ideal circumstance to be in, even though Vigoroth has counter. He makes a fantastic play, knowing the Berserker has to throw a foul play against the Cofagrigus. He catches it on his Vigoroth for some huge neutral damage. Did not want to take a close combat on his Vigoroth, so he could not just come straight in with the Vigoroth there. Lands a body slam. The Berserker is going to get to the charge move here. Got the Berserker all the way in the red. Vigoroth goes down, but that was plenty of damage from the Vigoroth. Cofagrigus is able to Shadow Claw down. What a top tier strat to play out of that really bad looking end game scenario. Getting into the next matchup, we see another Clefable, except this one is stuck in the past, stuck in the last season, running Charm as its fast move. Snots is going to throw a Shadow Ball right off rip. The opponent eats it. The Clefable is super low on health. They then save swap into a Mew, which ends up having to use a shield regardless. So Snots now has to pivot though because Cofagrigus' health is a bit low and it's going to get Shadow Claw down, but was able to get a shield here. The opponent is running a Mew set of Overheat, and what else? What could the other charge move possibly be? After they overheated though, their attack is super debuffed, so they throw another one. Doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as the first one would have done, and now that Mew's attack is as low as it possibly can get. So at this point, Snots is going to commit to a counter down. The Mew does not get off another charge move, and their last Mon is their own Cofagrigus. The Clefable Cofagrigus core all over the place in this collection of battles. He throws a Bulldoze, which does some okay, decent damage. He tries to catch a charge move that unfortunately does not work. The opponent holds on to their energy. Snots has to be careful on how he plays this. Probably comes back in with a Vigoroth. No, he comes in with the Clefable. Gonna eat a potential Shadow Ball. They throw a Dark Pulse. They must have been expecting the Vigoroth to come back in because that was huge. Either that or they were trying to bait. He's letting another charge move come through. Ends up eating a Shadow Ball here. The opponent's Clefable comes in, throws one charm. Snots is going to get off the Meteor Mash, take out the Clefable's remaining health. Is Vigoroth going to be able to win out this one shield scenario? Will the double resisted counters get the Cofagrigus low enough so that Snots can throw back-to-back double resisted body slams and potentially take it out? While one body slam lands and he's able to counter down. Normal counters Ghost confirmed. I mean, then again, they both double resist the living heck out of each other. Getting to the next matchup though, we have a Cofagrigus on a Hypno lead. The opponent swaps into their Vigoroth. Snots is going to do some chip damage because he doesn't have the best answer for the save swap. Maybe his own Vigoroth, but the Vigoroth also doesn't really have a great matchup here, and maybe Snots feels that he can use his back line to take out that Hypno later because Vigoroth needs to throw Bulldozes because everything else from Vigoroth is literally double resisted on the Cofagrigus. He's going for another Dark Pulse. Will this do enough damage to take out? It does not. Going to attempt the Shadow Claw. Vigoroth farm down. Unfortunately, not going to get it. The Vigoroth looks like they're at another bulldoze. They are. Snots uses his first shield, goes for the farm down, and apparently they're quite core broken by this Cofagrigus. I can only imagine what the last Mon is if they're coming in with Hypno to essentially eat all this super effective damage. The confusion, the final confusion the Hypno needed did not completely do its damage because the 4 turns did not finish before Snots gets off another Dark Pulse and is able to do a huge chunk of the Hypno's health. Comes in with his Clefable, eats a Shadow Ball, is going to potentially commit to a Fairy Wind farm down, cannot do that without throwing a Meteor Mash and potentially getting Confusion down. Throwing the move here, gets the opponent's last shield. They're committing to their Hypno. What could their last possible Mon be? Ends up being a Clefable of their own, just barely falls short of the Meteor Mash, which is insanely unfortunate because it would have one-shot the Clefable's remaining health, but Snots is still in a positive endgame scenario here because he has a shield advantage. He tries to call the bait, the opponent goes big move, but that's okay because Vigoroth can eat the big move of Moonblast and still hold on. Snots holds his shield, opponent top left's body slam is going through, takes out, or would have taken out, Clefable's remaining health, and that ends up being GG's for that match there. Apparently, everybody's running Cofagrigus. I mean, not Cofagrigus. Well, yes, that too. That I saw a bunch in my single cup type battles. I did not see a bunch of Clefables like this. The amount of Clefables we've seen in this collection of battles has been insane. But regardless of that, the opponent swaps into a Regirock, eats the charge move. Snots matches with his Vigoroth, which is going to be able to do super effective counter damage. Shields up a Focus Blast, which is huge, goes for the counter down, leaves the swap scenario with almost all of Vigoroth's health, even though it's down a shield, has a bunch of energy, gonna let this charge move from Clefable come through. Vigoroth still eats it well because he was quite healthy, but unfortunately gets debuffed. It's a 10% chance of an attack debuff from the Clefable's Moonblast, so it's going to now need 3 body slams to take out the Clefable's remaining health. Throws the second one here, still doesn't take out, throws the body slams back to back that appeared to be CMP. Will it get the shield? No, the opponent swapped. Instead, they caught one of the body slams on their Blastoise. Blastoise is going to be resisting this Meteor Mash, so Snots going for a huge bait just based on the fact that the opponent has shield advantage and was fully expecting them to shield up their Blastoise regardless of how thick and bulky of a Pokemon it is. The Blastoise is going to get off a charge move here. Snots is looking to get to the Moonblast just in time before the Clefable gets Water Gun down. Will this Moonblast land? It does! They don't shield, and that is the game right there. Clefable does not have enough health in order to try and take out the Cofagrigus, but honestly, even if they did shield up the Blastoise, Cofagrigus probably would have came through and kicked its butt regardless in that endgame scenario. So yo, shout out to Snots. I still don't know what's going on with my media player here and why it like kind of ends the way it does, but I guess this screen is kind of fine to wrap this video up on. You can see his name. I can't make that bottom part of the screen disappear. I don't know, man. Regardless, Snots, thank you so much for the submission. If you're watching, please let me know your thoughts on the battles, the team comp. If you need a team comp, I know Snots has continued to run this team for a lot of success within the single cup type meta. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will be trying to get you as much more of this content as I possibly can. I've been personally struggling in this meta, so I'm trying it for at least one more day because I have not come up with a team of my own. So again, shout out to Snots for this showcase and this submission. If you'd like to submit your own battles, there's a link to a Google form in the description of this video. Recommend checking that out. But ideally, I'll be able to get you some more of that. If not, I'm jumping into Ultra League soon. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Preach!